All right, guys, let's wrap up tonight with a look at the ranking of the best quarterback coach duos in the NFL. Colin Cowherd had a segment on his show this week ranking the top 10 quarterback head coach duos in the league. So we figured, well, why not do our own? The duo has to be equally considered. So a great coach like Belichick might be left off the list with a subpar quarterback or vice versa. So let's run them down, Jay. Let's hear your top 10.
Uh, can you be somewhat polite? Could you have said unproven? Why you got to crush the guy like that? We don't know.
I have
But
seen
listen,
nothing to the contrary. That'll
but
be something,
listen,
Jared. Go ahead.
yeah. Anyways, for this list, I thought the top 9 that I had, I thought they all absolutely deserved to be in there. I really did. The 10th one, I got to tell you, I struggle with because there's a lot of quarterbacks that just, I mean, you would think we could slide them on in here, and maybe they got a coach that's kind of weighing them down. You'll see what I'm talking about as this segment progresses. And on the other side, you know, you got a really good coach, but you're not sold on the quarterback. So the 10th spot was tough. But listen, I'm taking the flyer on this one. We'll go Phillip Rivers and Frank Reich. It's a newly formed relationship. It's going to be one of them 1 year wonders, perhaps. I think they should have an opportunity to win the AFC South. And I got them at number 10. At number 9, we coming in with Jimmy Garoppolo and Kyle Shanahan out there in the Bay Area in San Francisco. I mean, you got to have them in here somewhere. They did just go to a Super Bowl. Now, you can also say I'm not going to have them all that high because I believe this Super Bowl, the running game was a great deal to do with this. The defense, especially that pass rush, they had a whole lot to do with what they were doing. But Garoppolo, you know, he did his job for most of the season. I think Kyle Shanahan, he's one of the great young offensive minds in this game, and he's got to be in here at some point. Number 8, this is one of those situations where it's really one side because you'd like to have a good coach and a good quarterback in here. And that's not to say Matt LaFleur is not a good coach, but I'm not all that impressed. But you know what it is with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, contrary to some of the executive belief system up there in Green Bay, he's not done. I think he's going to come out with a vengeance this year. I think he's going to have one of his best seasons, and we'll see. Maybe Matt LaFleur, maybe he can show me a little something extra. But it's hard when you got it when it's Matt LaFleur, you're not going to be no higher than 8th. Another one of them newly formed relationships. We got the GOAT down there in Tampa Bay, Tom Brady, and we got Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians, when you look at the vast majority of his career, he's had success at multiple stops. He's worked with Big Ben Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh. He's had time with Andrew Luck in Indianapolis. He's worked with Carson Palmer, took Carson Palmer to a Super Bowl. And he did not take Carson Palmer to a Super Bowl. That was, I believe that was Ken Wisenhunt. That was before Bruce Arians got there. But he did get him to an NFC Championship game. And so he's a proven guy. And the only reason I don't have him higher is because it is a new relationship. And I'd hate to put these guys too high above some proven relationships that we've seen work year in and year out. And that's where we go to number 6. And there's a question. There's a little bit of injury concerns here, but the coach is propping him up right now. I'm talking about Big Ben. I'm talking about Mike Tomlin. Listen, if Mike Tomlin can get 8 wins with Devlin Hodges and Mason Rudolph, if we can get, I don't know, 60% Big Ben, I think the Steelers can be right back in the thick of things. That defense has been much maligned. Talking about that secondary, they have an excellent defense though right now. You talk about T.J. Watt, Bud Dupree, Devin Bush. The list goes on and on. They got some real ballers back there. So I think the Steelers are going to be okay if Big Ben can give us something. And number 5, Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll. And you might say, well, that seems a little low. I'm going to tell you this, and we've alluded to it. I think we alluded to it in the last topic. Russell Wilson, I think he's the second best quarterback right now in football. Only one I've got above him is Patrick Mahomes. There's just something about Pete Carroll. I'm just not enamored with Pete Carroll lately. I'm just not seeing enough impact coming from the defense ever since the Legion of Boom has went by the wayside and fell apart. And listen, we've talked about this on multiple occasions, and many others have as well. Ever since that 2nd and 1 interception in the Super Bowl, it just hasn't been the same there. And as great as Russell Wilson has been, I don't think Pete Carroll's been quite as good. So that's why they're at number 5. I'm going to go to a team that's won a Super Bowl a little bit more recently not with the quarterback that's starting for them and just got paid, but we cannot forget 2017, Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate. If he had not gotten hurt, he would have rolled to that award. And Doug Peterson, you got to give him credit. He got Nick Foles. Had Nick Foles in there winning the Super Bowl. In 2018, Nick Foles and Doug Peterson, they won another playoff game together. And then this year, you had Wentz in there, but it's seemingly the whole receiving corps, they either couldn't catch or they were on the sideline injured. And we know the secondary wasn't all that good of shape. They had a lot of problems, but they made it happen. And that's a great combination. I really like those guys together. And then you get to the super elite guys. Listen, the reigning MVP on the cover of Madden 21. You know what it is? It's Lamar Jackson. He got to make some improvements. We can't be going out with no playoff wins continuously. We got to get that rectified. But the reason I got them this high, and you may think this may be a bit high, but listen, John Harbaugh, when you talk about coaches, and this is one of the things I'll talk about from time to time in terms of coaching. Coaches are sometimes, they're so rigid in the fact that, okay, it's all about my system. We talked about this with Jay Gruden last year and Dwayne Haskins. It's all about the system. No, it's not. You make a system to fit the player's strengths. That's exactly what John Harbaugh led the Ravens to do last year, and they made it happen. They were built on the running game. They mixed in some passing. Lamar Jackson, they used his absolute best ability, and they made it happen. Number two, the relationship that has been now it's been the longest and truest now that Belichick and Brady no longer together. That would be Drew Brees and Sean Payton. Listen, I'm going to ride with these guys and Drew Brees walk away. They've been that prolific. They've been that outstanding. And I see no reason to where that doesn't continue. Drew Brees, he's had some suspect performances in the playoffs, but he's also had some unbelievably tough breaks in the playoffs the last several years. And we'll see, but I still think that they're the best team in that division right now. We'll see how the Bucs progress. But then at number one, and there should be no suspense as of what we was leading up to, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. I'm not even going to say much about that. It gets no better than those two right now.
All right, here we go. You know what I'm saying? Hot 10 right here, coming in at 10 is, the newest duo on this list. That duo down in Arizona, the Cardinals, Cliff Kingsbury, young Mr. 25-year-old looking himself, and then Kyler Murray. You know what it is, 4'5" and all that. Look, here's the deal. Both of these guys, first-year rookies, rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, and dare I say they played in the toughest division in all of football in the NFC West, and they looked pretty good for their first year doing it. Now they had to build upon that, and we seen what Bill O'Brien did, so he got a target to add on to Larry Fitzgerald. Number 9, I'm coming in with Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson. Now, Jay just mentioned, on this list, you're going to have like lopsided production. Like maybe the quarterback is carrying the coach is carrying the quarterback. And here's the first one on my list. Here's the deal. Pete Carroll is a defensive head coach. But I will say this. In that Super Bowl where they made that outrageous play on the 1-yard line, at that time, if you actually think about it, Pete Carroll pretty much, even though he's a defensive guy, he pretty much said, I'm going to pass over my instincts and go with the talent, and I'm going to go with my quarterback. Since that time, these guys have been locked at the hip. Now, has he helped them out with get him premier talent on that offensive line? Absolutely not. But, hey, here's the deal. He sold the form for Russell Wilson when he made that play, and now here we are. Number 8, Bill O'Brien and Deshaun Watson. Now, listen here, folks. I'm talking about Bill O'Brien, the coach, not Bill O'Brien, the GM. Please cut him some slack as a coach. I know as a GM, get him out of here, folks. But as a coach, he does his thing. And Deshaun Watson has benefited from him doing his thing. Deshaun Watson has been a mainstay in the playoffs for the AFC, no matter who, just I think DeAndre Hopkins, he has a big part to do with that as well. But Bill O'Brien can coach. Deshaun Watson can play quarterback. I think that combo does matter. And then we got Sean McVay, the guy just a couple of years ago, we thought he had a double brain. He was the smartest guy in the room. He was a boy genius. All this and some. They just played in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Him and Jared Goff. Now, for me, I think Jared Goff is a straight, flapjack. But it is what it is. The proof is in the pudding. They paid him, and he's not like a god awful. I'm just not a big fan of him. But when you talk about quarterback coach combos, I do think that's a top 10 duo in today's NFL. Number 6, I go with John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson. Here's the deal. I like to talk about the best ability. The best ability is availability. Another ability I want to talk about is flexibility. And that's what John Harbaugh is all about. Here's the deal. This guy could, just like Jay said, he could have been out here talking about, hey, this is my system. I've been doing this for years and it's been working. Now he seen Lamar Jackson and was like, listen, we're going to have to change. Oh, hey, yo, we're going to have to change some stuff up. You see that guy? Oh, yeah. Go ahead and let's trade up back in the first round and go get this guy. Oh, yeah, you know what time it is. Hey, put up the Bentley. It's time to get the Ferrari out. You know what time it is. Let's roll. So I got to give him credit. Even though a lot of people want to say John Harbaugh is not an offense coordinator, not a defense coordinator, he was a special teams coordinator. I don't care what he was. Clearly he's smart. Clearly he know what he's doing in the NFL. He had a lot of success, and now he's going to have even more with the best thing smoking right now outside of Mahomes. But we're going to get to that a little later. Now, and number 5, I got Bruce Arians, the coolest cat in the building with the GOAT, all right? It's the GOAT. Like, what are we talking about here? We got Mr. Kango and the GOAT. You know they number 5. I don't care if they haven't played one game together or not. That's just a cool combination. So you got to put some respect on it. Number 4, I'm coming in with Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo. Here's the deal. I do agree with Jay. It's hard to give Garoppolo a lot of credit when that run game was the driving force. But here's the deal. Kyle Shanahan, when it comes to offense, you seen the extension. You seen the money they paid him. Me personally, I'm a big fan of Kyle Shanahan. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I seen what he did with the Redskins. Then he rolled it over to the Falcons. And now he just played in the Super Bowl with the 49ers. The proof is in the pudding. That guy know what he's doing. And clearly, Jimmy Garoppolo, for all the shortcomings that he done had, I think Kyle Shanahan has did a really good job of masking those shortcomings and playing winning football. I know the defense got something to do with it, but, this ain't about them. Then number 3, we got Sean Payton, and we got Drew Brees. Hey, listen, if you can make a coach-quarterback duo a statue, this, what I'm saying? This might be the statue right here. I mean, yes, you would have Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, but then you probably have theirs right next. You know what I'm saying? This would be the statue if you can make a statue. These guys been playing a lot of ball. They the heart and soul of New Orleans as a city. Like, when you go there, these guys get a lot of respect, and we seen what happened with Drew Brees when, he made some, some wrong comments, and you seen the backlash. It's a reason why he got that backlash. This guy is well respected around his arena. That's all it is to it. When you're well respected like Drew Brees, you're going to get that type of backlash that he got. Don't mean he a bad guy, but, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Number 2, I got Dougie Fresh, Dougie Peterson, coming through with Carson Wentz, Mr. Bag Swag and everything else with it, Yo, give me some of that glue, give me some of that bubble gum. Let's go ahead and put it together. For whatever you can say about Carson Wentz, you can say whatever you want to say. Oh, he's fragile. He can't stay healthy. That's cool. But if he make it to the game and he plays, go ahead and strap in. It's going to be a long day, boys. And let's not forget, that year that they won the Super Bowl, he did not play. But they don't make that Super Bowl without him. They don't make that Super Bowl without his almost MVP performance that year. So Nick Foles, all he did was, copy and paste, Control F. That's what he did, and he just slid on in there and got it done. So, yeah, it was copy and paste. He slid in there behind the MVP at the time and got it done.
What was it, Control F?
What's the Control F? Hey, what's some plays Carson Wentz used to run? Hey, Control F, and then you can find it. Oh, okay.
Okay, I got you.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, come on, Jay. Come on, keep up with me, baby. Now, and then at number 1, you know who we got at number 1. You know what it is. Top Shelf, Johnny Walker Blue Label for my guys that drink. You know what it is. The best of the best, the creme de la creme. About as good as the hotel that the Lakers gonna stay in during their playoffs. You know what it is. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's Andy Reid. And I want to say Andy Reid has always been a top-notch offensive mind in this game. He came up short a few times, but he finally got that guy that can put it all together and put it where he needed. And listen, they the number one combo, and they deserve it. And and they just get started, if you ask me. So what I'm saying, that's my 10.
All right. Well, my 10 are about not the same, but most of the same potential guys in different order. Number 10, I've got Aaron Rodgers, Matt LaFleur. Rodgers wasn't overly impressive in 19 if you look at him versus his career stats. And LaFleur, the jury's still, but for whatever it's worth, they were 13-3 and they made a nice playoff run. So definitely need to get him on this list at least somewhere. Number 9, I got Deshaun Watson, Bill O'Brien. I mean, like you said, Deshaun Watson's kind of dragging O'Brien on this list a little bit, but we'll give him some credit. They have finished with at least 9 wins in all but 1 year he's been there, GM duties aside. And Deshaun Watson, that we all know he is as advertised, more or less. Number 8, I got Mike Tomlin and Big Ben. Mike Tomlin just spent an entire season reminding everyone how good of a coach he is, and Big Ben's coming back. He's healthy, or should be healthy, and I think is definitely still a top 10 duo. Even if Big Ben's clock's really kind of beginning to tick, they should still have some success. I got Jimmy G and Kyle Shanahan down here at number 7. I like what I saw last year for sure, but I didn't quite see enough of a Jimmy G to push him up on the list past 7. And again, some of that at least was game planning, so we'll see how it goes. But they definitely deserve a spot. I had them just a little lower. I got Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll. Maybe they should be even higher, but it's hard because, like you said, if you look at the numbers, you look at the success they've had, the Super Bowl victories, and how good Russell Wilson's been, and how many seasons they've had of success and winning. You go, well, how are they not number 2 or 3? But just something doesn't feel the same, right? That we all kind of feel it. Something doesn't feel the same about this duo as it did. Maybe they'll recapture it, maybe they won't. But for now, I got them at 6. Number 5, I got the GOAT and Bruce Arians. I don't think either of these guys need much introduction. 5th, because I am skeptical of how much Brady's got left in the tank. And like you guys said, the relationship's a little newer, but got to be at least 5th, right? Number 4, I've got Wentz and Pedersen here, only because of Wentz's health. Again, we talked about it. Great duo, but can we get it for a whole season? Can we see it all come together finally for him? But y'all are right. Without Wentz that season, Foles probably doesn't take him to the Super Bowl and win it. So definitely, even when he's before he was hurt, he was having an MVP caliber season. I put Peyton Breeze at number 3. They've proven for a long time how good they are. Model of consistency outside of New England. These guys, like you said, Drink. If there was a statue for both of them, that'd be the one. So number 2, that puts me at Lamar Jackson and Harbaugh. I mean, I think what puts them so high on it for me, one, the potential they could have, but I mean, Lamar Jackson just rewrote the record books in the NFL. I mean, MVP, he's a household name now, but Harbaugh's been doing this a long time. Only one losing season since 2008. And also he took a guy that every NFL team passed on, and made him a household name. So the playoff success is the only thing as of recent that I would hold him back. But man, I expect this duo to be to run the NFL for a while, if not for number 1, which is obviously Mahomes and Reed, which will be their primary competitors. No argument here. Kings of the NFL just won the Super Bowl. Easy for me.